Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the WES Alumni Archives. We thought since it's the start of a new academic year, it would be a great opportunity to discuss master's degrees, as a lot of students will be thinking about their next steps. So I'm here today with Jan. Would you like to introduce yourself a bit?
Yeah, hi, I am Jan. Now I pursue a master's degree in LSE in finance and economics. I've graduated from Warwick last year, and 2 years ago I was a ERH External Relations and Hospitality Coordinator at WES, like some of my best times in my life. So happy to be here as alumni.
Great, thank you very much. So my first question would be, why did you decide to pursue a master's degree, and what factors did you consider when selecting the right program for you?
Well, I decided to pursue this master's degree for a few reasons. Mostly, I was always very interested in studying, and I wanted to learn more about the topics I did. And every year, I learned something new in my undergrad, and I thought that is just not enough, and I want to do something more. And furthermore, I will want to pursue a career in the public sector, and the value of the postgraduate education for the public sector is very high. So that was a few of the considerations I had when choosing my masters. And also I chose masters in finance and economics because following my economics degree, I felt that I don't want to lose the knowledge I gained, but I also want to specialize more into other direction, which was finance.
Great, thank you. And can you provide for us a brief overview of the typical application process for a master's degree?
Mhm. So first thing that I did, I spoke to people. So I spoke to people doing other degrees. I spoke to people that did masters as well, whether it's something for me. So that was the first step. And then I did my research on the possible degrees I could pursue. Um, and of course, LSE was one of the top ones that I chose. However, I hedged my bets and applied to a few others as well. Then what I did, of course, you need to write a personal statement. That takes a lot of effort and a lot of research. So again, those conversations that you have with other people come in very handy, especially that they may send you their own previous personal statements, so you can kind of know what successful candidates are expected of. Uh, what's more, for most of the European universities, you will be required to submit the GRE or GMAT. It also took me a lot of time to prepare for those. I didn't need it for my application here. However, I still did it for my European applications, and I believe UK universities also appreciate it if you give them another reason why they should choose you over other candidates. So that's the second step. Then for some universities, you will be required to do a video interview where it can be either with a person, but most often it's pre-recorded interview for either the questions you will know beforehand or random questions that you need to prepare for. And also it takes some time to prepare, but it's not that big of a deal. And one thing that's also very important is be aware of the dates and the deadlines and plan ahead on in which months you focus on which application to which university. So that was my process. And if you have any follow-up question to this process, I'm glad to answer. I would be glad to answer it.
Yeah, so you mentioned personal statements there, which I can imagine is quite a thorough, complex process. So it would be good to know how you approached writing your personal statement and what advice you can give for crafting one that's successful and compelling.
I think two most important things is, as I mentioned before, talking to people and doing research, but also taking the time to reflect. And even when you think you finished writing it, just like take another few days to reflect on it, come back to it with a fresh head, and start to rethink what you did and if that's something that you actually believe in. So in my personal statements, I always focused on finding the professors in each university that I actually find very interesting, that the work seems compelling to me, and that I would like to just work with. That was the part of the important research. And also the important thing is try to use your previous experiences, previous modules, previous work that you've done, for example, dissertations or whatever, to your advantage. For example, one of the bigger paragraphs in my personal statement was a paragraph about my dissertation and how I'll be using my knowledge of both economics and finance to combine it into the dissertation, and why I'm interested in this topic. The important thing is to show your character and show actual motivation to pursue this masters. So I think that with the research, with the conversations, and with the time you give to yourself, you can just write an amazing personal statement.
Yeah, great, thank you. Um, and obviously you were in WES whilst you studied. So it would be good to know what role your academic background, undergraduate coursework, or work experience, anything else that you did outside of your degree, like WES, for example, what role did they all play in the admissions process?
I think that's really key because it shows your genuine interest. It shows why you want to do something else than everyone else, and why the university should choose you for their program. So in my second year, I did 2 internships, and throughout my course in Warwick, I tended to choose the harder modules. And for example, when considering your academic path, when considering the modules you choose, I believe that those universities really value if you show that you want to do the more difficult modules, if you want to do something that's more challenging. For example, econometrics modules are very, very valuable in your applications because it shows both that you're very that you can deal with numbers very well, but also shows your genuine interest. So that's something that I found came in very useful in the application. But furthermore, those extracurricular experiences, those internships, also show that you did something else. You tried considering going to work straight after it, tried different things, and maybe they will be useful for your application. Maybe they will not be tied up with your masters, but it also shows that you try different things. And lastly, the student societies such as WES is an amazing thing. It shows that you're active, and that's what universities are looking for. They want to expand their alumni community, and they always want to look for people that are active in those communities, and for people that want to contribute. So contributing to things like organizing conferences is an amazing thing to show your commitment and show that you'll be willing to help others that are say a year below you, 2 years below you, and also that you're showing that you want to improve the brand of your university. So I think those 3 things are really important. But it's also good to just like adapt to the masters you choose, right? So you need to choose how to use your experiences in your favor. So I think that's just very important in your application.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really helpful. Clearly you're passionate and knowledgeable about economics, so it would be great to understand how do you see the field of economics evolving, and what opportunities do you think it will offer to future graduates with a master's degree in economics?
I think the degree in economics open you a lot of doors. So first of all, the most important in the public sector, as I mentioned before, just the value of education is really important. But for the future, right? It's all the master's study give you more must study masters give you more ability to think for yourself and think creatively, as you are given much more freedom. in the work you choose and with the way you study. And that's something that will be very important uh, currently in the workplace, but going to the future as well. Given that the future workplace will be much more automated, there will be many more tools, and all of those tools will be much more advanced. So being able to learn new things, being able to be independent in the way you approach new tasks, would be invaluable, especially with AI. All of those basic tasks, especially in finance and economics, will be replaced by the models and by the AI. So it's very important to be able to understand those models and put them into wider context. So jobs in finance, they will change. Jobs in economic consultancies will change. And the value of those additional things, of those things that make you special, I think will keep on increasing. Therefore, I believe that like undergrad is great. It teaches you a lot. If you choose hard modules, it's amazing. But masters is just another level. Therefore, the pursuing the postgraduate education will always benefit you in the long run, especially if you choose a good institution, because it also helps with your brand. So I think it's that.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I loved what you said about working with AI as well. I thought that was really, really valuable, really insightful. Um, that was a really interesting conversation. I think it will be really valuable to a lot of students. So thank you very much for your advice and for your time. Thank you everyone for watching this episode of WES Alumni Archives, and we will see you soon. Take care.